Super.
Rogan, welcome. Eileen, welcome.
Event photographer, Rogan. Cool. Lovely. So I'm guessing you want to get into product still life a little bit more. Yeah. Cool. Cool. Well, since we are a little early, we're gonna wait for people to come in. I just want to share some uh, details with you with regards to Raw. We are going to be opening up our studio for rental again, so we're very happy with that. We are going to be deep cleaning the place this weekend to get it all ready. All safety protocols will be in place. We've got special promo coming up in terms of studio rentals. So we are offering $200 super cheap for 4 hours, right? That's like $50 an hour. Includes pro photo lightings and everything you see in the studio. Maybe you can skip the slide, Daniel. Skip the slide. Let's get to that slide. And 400 for full day. That's like dirt cheap. So this is our phase 2 special. Everything you see there is available, inclusive of the price. Our studio rates are usually 300 for 4 and 600 for 8 hours. We are going dirt cheap to help everybody coming back into the thick of things to try and get everybody going. So in the meantime, do let us know how we can help you. If you need anything at all that's not available within the studio, in terms of what's available, what's included in the studio, you can always let us know. Because we can always I can always open up my personal inventory and rent you whatever is you need potentially. Yeah. What comes with the studio is ultimately 2B2s, 2D2s, two B1s, 2B1s, 2D2s, B1X, and then
B10 plus,
B10 plus. Yeah. We've got A1s.
Yes.
We've got BenQ screen with a innovative cart for you to put as a workstation, your laptop that is connected to your camera or whatsoever, and all the accessories from umbrellas to soft boxes to reflectors, Apple boxes, styrofoam boards, C stands, light stands, boom arms. All these are available. I don't think you can get a better deal, to be honest. And on top of that, we've got this beautiful concrete wall and wooden floor that we are very, very proud of. That you can do pretty cool stuff. And of course, the daylight streaming into the windows, as you can see in our pictures, it's very fresh, very bright. It's kind of cool for pretty much any kind of photography. Yeah. So let us know. All right. Super. Okay, let's wait a few more minutes. In the meantime, I hope everybody's had your dinner. Tell us what you ate. I ate chicken chop. Hi, JD. Oh, please tell us something. Oh, okay. About the phase 1 seminar. Well, it's a webinar for phase 1. I recently did a very, very cool remote shoot from home. I literally shot that entire series of picture sitting right here at home, right? And my production was done in Jakarta in Indonesia. So that one image you saw, that was shot remotely. So I have came up with quite a few various remote shooting techniques to work remotely with my production houses in around the region from Indonesia to China. So this is kind of like a case study for me, and we came up with quite cool practical techniques for remote shooting, of which I'll be sharing at the webinar. Yeah. So yeah, do register and join us. Yeah. Okay. Because as much as phase 2 opens, everybody can shoot. I still can't shoot yet because a lot of my work are overseas. I can't fucking fly. I can't enter a lot of countries yet. So, and a lot of clients have been asking me, when can I come over? Of which, no one knows because their country is not open yet. So I have to resort to some drastic measures by coming up with remote shooting capabilities. Kind of interesting. Maybe for the near future, that might be something I'll be doing a little bit more. Yeah. Okay. So do register, JD. Okay. Let me. Cool. Let me find the link. Here's the link. So do sign up and register. It's 3:30 on the PM on the 25th. 3:30 because it is global and they figured that they want to cover. Yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, as much as it's phase 1, I'll be using Capture One. As long as you have Capture One, you can do what I'm doing in terms of remote photography. So yeah. All right. So yeah, JD, it will still be fun. Okay. Cool. It's 8:40. Shall we start? We've got 20 participants. That's cool. Lovely.
Once again, welcome everybody.
Alrighty.
Yep. Hello, Vance.
Cool.
Okay. Hello, Easy. Wei Lun. Wow. Okay, cool.
Take it away, Alex.
Ian. Wow. Thank you, Ian. Hi, say.
Hey, what I say, yeah.
Very, very honored, yeah. Wow,
Support.
Thank you. Come here.
Sweet.
Okay. Jeff, you want to?
Yep. You start lah. Just start lah.
All right. Okay. Thank you everyone tonight for coming.
Hey, sorry. Very quickly, we got a very nice intimate crowd. 20-something people. As it builds, maybe, we can make it a little bit more formal. But as it stands, it's a very nice intimate group. I think let's all just be very vocal, and open up your mics, open up your videos, and interact with Alex and ask him, directly questions. Let's give him a hard time.
Okay,
let's tekan Alex tonight. Okay, let's bring it on. Okay, I think that's fun because our crowds are usually a little big and it's a very formal in terms of how we interact. So I always love intimate sessions, and here we are building into an intimate one. So, Alex,
okay,
get ready.
Okay. Okay. So everyone, if you can, you switch on the video or you want to switch on your mic. Okay, you can interrupt me at any point of time, but go easy. I try to answer everyone's questions or whatever that I can. All right. So once again, welcome for tonight. I'm just going to touch on this. Product photography, not in a way that it's like a tech night or whatever kind of thing, but it's just more like sharing, because after this whole COVID thing, I had a lot of thoughts, and I think looking at what's going to be for post-COVID-19, also looking and seeing all the sad news and all the very terrible things that's happening on our social media every day, hearing like restaurant closing down or business winding up, or people going bankrupt and all that kind of stuff. Now, I thought that it would be appropriate to touch on this area, product photography, and also just to give you guys maybe an insight. Maybe for you guys out there, some of you guys are already a product photographer already, or you have been doing that. But for me, I would just like to share, just kind of like give a background, inside story to actually this so-called very underrated, very so-called not people bothered kind of genre of photography, which actually is actually quite big. And if you were to later on hear out my presentation and from the deck that I'm going to show, then you kind of like maybe can have a better understanding. If those who already have been doing product photography, take this as more of like a refresher for you guys. All right. All right. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just jump straight into. I mean, you guys all should know me, so I'll just not go through the intro part, but I'll just go into the slide presentation area. So okay. Let me see. I got to share screen first. Okay. And share. And here we go. Okay. All right. Jeff, you can see the screen, correct?
Yes,
yeah?
yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, talking about product photography, okay. Generally, in product photography, there's actually 3 different types. So that's mean within product photography, there's actually 3 different types of product photography to consider when you're working with a brand to sell or to represent or to show their products. And a lot of times when it comes to branding, maybe B2B or B2C, or even if you're dealing with agency, if it's agency, you're talking about working on a campaign, and the campaign could ranges from a product like maybe a handphone to, I don't know, beverages or a new launch of a new beer or a handbag. And it's actually quite broad, okay? It actually stretches, can go as much as from fashion products to fashion apparels, which is also a product, okay? Because a lot of people might think that, oh, fashion always must shoot with people, kind of thing. Not necessary, because sometimes you can just shoot the product standalone in terms of fashion, like for example, maybe a blouse or a top or a bottom, or even maybe intimate undergarments kind of thing. And for the bigger brands like maybe Calvin Klein, for those underwear brands, Calvin Klein, Triumph kind of thing, yes, a lot of times you do have that human element. That means the model is wearing the bra or wearing the undergarments, and then the whole campaign kind of like evolves around it. But yet again, you can't neglect that you need to have the product shots of the products itself, because that will probably go into the in-store or even to the POP, like the so-called pop-up store display and things like that, or even for the press ad, or even for cataloging, or even for their catalog, whether it's online or not online or print or stuff like that. Yeah. So moving on. Okay. So I'm going to just break down and give a background understanding to let you guys understand what is product photography. So the key to product photography is always about the context. Context in the sense that what I meant about context here is that you are actually showing or letting whoever your target audience is, if it's to your consumer, you might let them know that, okay, what is this whole product about? Will this product be more of like a functional product, or it's more of like a lifestyle, or it's just going to be just more of like a service product? Because sometimes services can be illustrated in a way like it's a product. Okay, what I meant by that is that if it's, let's say, a functional product, it could be a very logical sense. What your everyday thing, it could be a rice cooker, or it could be a computer or a TV, okay, or maybe a piece of furniture. Okay, then you go into maybe functional services products, like for example, beauty and spa. Because sometimes beauty and spa, not necessarily that you do not have to have human elements. You could just maybe showcase a certain mood, lifestyle shot of maybe the facility, or maybe the kind of spa products that they're actually showing off. All right. So it's all about context. And then from there, product photography also brings across the important so-called the function of like to make it understanding that where the photo is going to be shown. Because with product photography, there's a broad range of area. And if you talk about the good old ways back in the days where you talk about above the line and below the line. So above the line, it could be like maybe big print ads, news ad, press ad, billboards and stuff like that. Then you can have a huge product over there. And then one good example is our Apple, you know, when there's a new iPhone is being out, kind of thing, you really see them showcasing the phone, you know, in big, huge images, showcasing the phone, and maybe have an image that's taken by the latest iPhone, and then they kind of like pair it off with the phone product shot together with the main shot of maybe it could be a landscape, could be a human shot, or anything that it was shot with the iPhone. Or it could be a new latest LCD TV, 4K or HD or whatever, and then you have the huge TV plastered all over the billboards and stuff like that. So I'm talking about those places where they are still doing the above the line kind of advertising. Then you talk about below the line, it could be end up in your mailers, direct mailers, which I think that is kind of like starting to vanish for a long time to come. We also can have it online, and if we talk about a little bit more relevant right now of the current situation, everything is all online. So your online will be typical Carousel, Shopee. So it is all influx and all this whole massive influx of all these images of all the different products which are categorized in all the different categories, so that online shoppers can go there and purchase and look at things and stuff like that. All right. And of course, images going to life. This one is a little bit tricky because it can be a cross between static image, which is what we call print image, and of course live streaming right now is the in thing and the trending thing. But yet again, from a video stream shot, if you were to screenshot that thing, that itself is a product shot. So in certain live stream, or maybe a better reference would be like the good old days of television. They showcase a lot of products, and then you have a host and a presenter that will talk about maybe this magic mop is so wonderful, and then at the end of the video or the so-called the video presentation at the end of the television, you'll definitely have a blast of an end frame of a product shot of that product that they're trying to sell at a very special rate, or call now, for this special rate and stuff. And lastly is that what is their job is to be in that kind of space. So in different space of what you are trying to use it for, the usage, the functionality of how you're going to project and use all these product images, it all has its relevant placing in this whole product photography realm. All right. Okay. So far, anyone understand? And I mean, if there's any question, you guys can just raise up your hands or whatever, or maybe if Jeff is looking at the comments today, you can always budge in and let me know that kind of thing. All right. So now I go into the details of the two main area. Okay, so we have brands that have website spaces to express themselves, their brand identity, the brand tone. So if you have products that are of a certain premium quality or a certain brand quality that they want to emphasize, or something that is very premium, normally they are very, very particular, and they are very, very so-called focused onto the importance about that particular brand. Normally that I would draw your association with things like, for example, okay, let's talk about something bigger of a product like Rolls-Royce or Bentley. Okay, if you were to go to a Bentley or Rolls-Royce website, or even for the Ferrari or the Lamborghinis, okay, you have beautiful images of the product, which is the fancy supercars and all that thing. And you will see strategically, okay, from the landing page where the product pictures are being used, to when you explore the website and when you go deep into it, where they start showing all the pictures. So, which later I'll come to that about how I categorize the product photography too, okay? And of course, versus very straightforward, what I call them the product pack shot, or right now everyone is talking about e-commerce, so it's a pure e-commerce platform where you are on Lazada, on Shopee, or any of the platform where people just go in looking for maybe a dishwashing liquid, or maybe a dishwasher or washing machine, or it could be a rice cooker, and then they just look at the product, shot nicely, beautiful lid, everything clear, sweet, clean, and then after that they just choose, pick, purchase, pay money, and they'll get their products delivered to them. All right. So basically, what I'm trying to share over here is that, so if you guys are attempting to do product photography into, or adding product photography into one of your area of genre of things that you do, always take into consideration, especially when you're dealing with clients, okay, it's about whether it's the brand image, the brand tone, or the motif qualities that what they're looking for, versus another client or another another customer that they are actually probably just looking for a very purely straightforward e-commerce kind of platform, which is they are looking for clear and they have the actual color and the actual look of the product itself, and their main objective just to make sales. Okay.
Sorry, Alex. So very quickly, what you're trying to say is one is perhaps more emotive. One is a bit that represents the more mood perhaps.
Correct.
Whereas the other one is more functional.
Yes.
More about accuracy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the two difference in a sense.
Yeah. Correct.
Right. That one emotive brand image, brand tone kind of segment. The product can be a little bit tinted with a warm glow, although it's not an orange color product. But they wanted to give it that warm look perhaps. Yeah. Whereas the clear actual look product shot has to be, if it's going to be an green color surface, it has to be exactly that kind of green, right?
Chrome
correct. You cannot put an orange light to give it that warm quality.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see. Okay.
Right.
So that's what you're trying to say. Got it.
Yeah. And then so moving so into this. Okay. So I would say that generally, if you are trying to provide product photography to a client, basically we have the big general category of what we call a typical studio shot. Okay. And then from that same one product, you will want to do the option, so like what Jeff had mentioned earlier just now, that I would say that lifestyle shot is kind of like also a crossover together with a mood shot. Okay, lifestyle can be mood, can be very cheery, can be very bright, or at the same time it can be a very moody shot. But then I call it like what we call a lifestyle shot. So when sometimes I offer to my client, I will say, okay, when I'm doing this product shoot campaign for you, not only just I will be doing the studio shot, I will also be injecting a few of this option of lifestyle shot, because this lifestyle shot is the one that actually kind of like a narrative, kind of like to tell a story of how would this product be in your life or in your lifestyle, or to be part of your whole life and whatever.
Can I just say maybe the word might not be lifestyle? I understand where you're coming from, but maybe in terms of lingo, perhaps a mood shot will be more ideal, because it does not include people. Yeah. Because in the genre of photography, when you say lifestyle, it's people, enjoying life. You know what I'm saying? So perhaps studio shot is that, in terms of lingo, right? Yeah. Studio shot is that clean, super, green has to be green, orange has to be orange kind of look, right? That so mood shot is that lifestyle shot that probably you're after. And then detail shot, perhaps.
Beautiful,
that
sexy,
close-ups. Yeah.
Lots of depth of field.
Right. So these are the three lingo, so to speak, that you have when you're dealing with your clients. Is that right?
Correct. That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Okay. So I'm just going to to illustrate of that lingo that we talk about. So this is your typical, studio shot.
Studio shot.
Yeah, okay. Studio shot. Clean, nice, show the product, in terms of the material or the quality. It is chrome, it is nice, And a lot of time people kind of like overlook on this, because a lot of photographers will think that, okay, it's just a standard shot against a white background kind of thing. But the tricky thing is that I will always say that if you are able to do a proper studio pet shot of a product, then you can actually move on to do your other mood shot kind of thing. Because I would say mood shot versus studio shot. Mood shot is the one that I would say, to me, is the easy way out. It's kind of much more easier to execute rather than you to do a studio shot. Because for a studio shot, if you're doing something like, for example, this picture that I've shown over here, which I shot, this is a pair of a very small size cufflinks, and cufflinks, they are really small, all right? And then also it is chrome all the way, everything, but yet at the same time there's detailings on the chrome items itself, and also there's all these little intricate designs and stuff like that for this particular client that I did. And this is pretty much what is required in this particular shoot that I did. They needed studio or what we call a white background or pet shot kind of thing. All right. And yes, you still need to have that skill set to be able to pull this off, to shoot this nicely in order to show how, in terms of the quality of the product itself, how it looks like, and at the same time to be a very clear picture to the client or whoever that is viewing it and seeing this product itself. And it has to make that function of the selling part of it. All right. Then this is the so-called the lifestyle mood shot, right? And in this picture here is kind of like nice and bright, not so mood, not so dark, okay, but clean, bright shot.
The black in terms of the highlight, that white little highlight there.
Jeff, for the strokes, right? I remember I had even 3 strokes.
Okay. Okay.
And
That's
then
cool.
the strokes are actually with very, very small openings. Like I think I was using snoots and also with mix it with honeycombs and all that thing, because always when it comes to product photography, it depends on the size. So if you're dealing with small earphones or that, you need to have the light source pretty small. Because you need to focus it on a certain point and stuff like that. Of course, if the product is much bigger, then you can work with much more bigger modifiers and stuff like that. Yeah.
All right, carry on, please. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah. All right. So studio shot. So just to give a quick summarize, okay, maybe sometimes some of the people out there may not be very clear about what is so-called studio shot. So studio shot also pretty much also known as what people also call it as a etch out. Okay. Now, just to take note that there actually is a technical difference between etch out and pet shots. Now, just take note of this. If you guys are writing this down or that. So for pet shots means that you're shooting any products onto a white background. Okay, and your product has to be lit in a way that is clean and nice, but at the same time, your background is also white. Okay, it cannot be looking with a bit yellowish or with a bit grayish or something. It has to be kind of like just white throughout, and then with the product there. All right. Now, if agency or maybe someone kind of request from you say that they would need and require etch out shot. Now, etch out shot means that you shoot the product. After that, in the post-production portion or the post-processing part of it, which is after you have done all your adjustment with the contrasting and maybe getting the right color counting, there's this process that you need to have it in the Photoshop where you actually outline the thing by, whether you're using magic wand or whatever counting and all that, and you kind of like just outline the thing, and then that itself is the standard. That means your product is kind of like being cut away from the background. Now, reason why for this usage is that because sometimes people like whether they are going to be eventually the picture is going to pass on to the other design team that's in the agency, or maybe to some client, they are big enough to have their own design team in-house, that these etch out shots will be able to let them have a much more easier way to facilitate to use them to be put against other backgrounds or for catalogs or whatever kind of stuff. Okay. So that is that technical difference. All right. Now, but other than that, most product shot, standard shot against a white tabletop. If you do not have a white tabletop, it's very easy. I have gone to a location where I don't have white tabletop because I can't be lugging a white tabletop with me. So at the client's place or at location, you have several ways that you can do coming up with a white tabletop. It can be a white tablecloth. For me, one of my favorite is that I will bring huge rolls of mahjong paper. Okay, and it's very cheap. You go to NTUC, you can grab a big chunk roll of mahjong paper. Just to share with you guys, which right now after the COVID, travel has been restricted. You can't really do much. But if you go to Malaysia, Johor, just across the causeway, go to Mr. DIY. I realized that the rolls of mahjong paper that they sell over there is in ringgit, so it's dirt cheap, and you get like 50 pieces of white mahjong paper. And this mahjong paper you can just bring to location because it's all rolled up. And once you're at a location, you can put it onto whatever table or whatever platform that they have over there, and you can do your product shoot and stuff like that.
Quick one. Actually, lovely tip, mahjong paper. But at the same time, the mahjong paper is also a little bit translucent in some ways, right? You can use it.
You got to get the more thicker type, the better quality one. There's some low quality mahjong paper out there.
No, but even the cheaper type, if it's a bit translucent, it can actually be used as a scrim.
Yes.
Or as a diffuser, or as a a softbox panel of sorts, right?
Yep.
Okay, very cool. I love it. Yeah, because they are generally square, and it's a very good size for product.
Yeah, and then if let's say you need to make it bigger, you just have to just get your assistant or maybe yourself. You just
clear tape,
mahjong paper, and then you just join them, and then you get a bigger white background, that kind of thing.
Yep. Awesome.
And then at the end of the day, when you are out of that location for your shoot kind of thing, you can just squash everything and then throw it away, because I guarantee you, that paper after a long 1 day shoot, whatever product, whether it's not food, even if it's not food, you'll still kind of way get dirty, and then you don't use that, just wash it. So at least you don't feel heart pain, the kind
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah. So also another thing is that you can also shoot products against light boxes, or so-called your soft boxes, which is the modifier. Because sometimes you need to just ensure that you want to really have a very nice pure background of that particular product. So you can actually shoot against light boxes. Of course, depending on the size of the product, again, I would say mid-size product to probably up to maybe like a computer size kind of items. You can still use a huge softbox, or whichever huge softbox you can find, the biggest in your studio or wherever you rent or whatever it is. So that is one way. And importantly, I also want to stress that make sure you do your light balance, especially before your pre-shoot. Ensure the settings of the camera is done properly, because when it comes to this kind of studio shot, product shots, as you mentioned before, the color is important. You may, in some cases, for certain important jobs or bigger jobs, clients, especially clients when he's dealing with the makeup range or makeup clients who we have worked with, they are very anal about lipstick color, or maybe color foundation color, or mascara color, or even eyeshadow color kind of thing. So you might need to do your necessary color checking or kind of thing pre-shoot before you or do all that. And choice lenses, I would say your standard 24-70 zoom lens, that one is quite a good range to use and work with. I also would recommend the 100mm macro, because you need that for your close-up shot and stuff like that. But again, there are also sometimes possibility of using a wider focal length, because you need to shoot quite huge items, probably like maybe a car or something like that. But then again, take note, be careful, look out for distortion. All right, that kind of thing, you need to watch out for that. Yeah. Okay, so just to give you guys a few more examples of a so-called studio shot. This is a typical jewelry shot. Sometimes when I look at this, I just like to say that it's kind of sad to say that things have changed quite a lot. Product photography has kind of revolutionized, evolved quite a lot, a revolution, I would say. In the past, in the days of analog, where you're shooting film and kind of thing, if you were to shoot something on film, especially like, for example, shooting a ring like that, definitely it will not look like this, because this is kind of what the industry standard norm is. If you were to pay attention and look closely to all the other big brands of jewelries out there, like for example SK or Goldheart or Boheng or kind of thing, you'll notice that this is kind of how jewelry looks like. Okay, it has that illustrative, yet you know that it was a photograph, but I kind of like it has that very high stylized and very heavy-handed kind of touch-up thing, because somehow or other, I don't know who was the fella who did and set that standard, and then somehow it kind of like got into the brains of all those jeweler clients, and then they say, "Oh, this is sweet, that kind of thing." But yet again, if you were to look at maybe the more bigger global brands, like for example Tiffany, Cartier, or other like Hermes and kind of thing, and their product shoot, you'll realize that they still retain the original state of how a product shoot's supposed to be. So what I'm trying to say here is that the rings right now, especially for this one, it looks kind of like airbrushy, very paintery and very illustrative. But if you look at the better brands of jewelry, you will still see that, okay, a ring is still a ring. It has that edge, it has that very nice texture to it, and stuff like that. Because I want to share this with you guys. Okay, comparing, let's say we just talk about on the level of jewelry, okay, between a SK or a Pohang jewelry and with a Tiffany ring or a Cartier ring. The quality is different, obviously, because we are paying a different price for the different brands. And I would just say that in all my years of doing product photography, and I think some of you guys may agree out there, okay, cheap products, it is kind of like lay onto the responsibility of the professional photographer to make it look expensive and look good. And for an expensive product or expensive brand that is already that expensive, and for us to shoot it, in the work process, I find that there's the difference. I kind of like, for expensive goods, I kind of like use lesser lighting because somehow rather the goods itself is so of good quality that it's so easy to shoot as compared to maybe you're shooting a cheap costume jewelry level kind of things, and you really need to put in a lot of skill and tricks and lightings and all that to kind of like to, you can call it to camouflage it or to fake it or whatever, something like that. All right. So this is how I feel when it comes to jewelry. This is one good example. This suitcase was a straight-on shoot. This is what I would say that is a good example of a white background shot because it's not etched out. As you can see, the product is sit nicely onto a foreground which is also white at the same time. This suitcase, if I'm not wrong, I think it cost easily thousands of dollars because it was a very expensive and high quality suitcase. And it was so easy to shoot. I think, if I'm not wrong, I only used 2 lights, okay, to achieve this. Very clean, very nice. And then the whole beauty of this luggage with its quality of what it's made of, it just comes out so easily in this shot that I did over here. Yeah.
Quick question, Alex, from KD.
Yes.
I don't quite get it. KD, maybe you would, can you come on and ask that question again in terms of what you mean? How would you shoot a white tabletop is also required together with a pure white background? So what, white on white?
Yeah, so basically, I think KD, I think I know what you're trying to ask. Okay, that means it's like white on white, or especially when your product is white, or it doesn't matter whether if your product is white or not. It's just that you need to make sure that your foreground and your background is, when it appears in your final image when you deliver, is all white, right? So yes, the thing is that it's very simple. Importantly, when you are setting up, especially for this kind of shot, in order to achieve that. Besides, I mentioned before about mahjong paper. Normally, what I do in the studio is that I will use a white photographic material background. Okay, it comes in sheets. Okay, that you can actually Google on the internet. You can search for it. It's what we call it's basically a material that is made of like a plasticky acrylic. It's not entirely acrylic, but it's a plasticky kind of material that is very flexible. It behaves like a piece of art paper, but actually is not made of paper because if you get any stains on it or whatever, you can actually wipe it off or clean it off with lighter fluid. Okay, it comes in available of different colors, different range of colors from blues to greens or whatever. But if you're achieving or you're trying to shoot a product shoot that's white on white, then you only pick the white one. Okay, and it comes in a size. It's normally the size is slightly about bigger than an A1, bigger than an AO. Sorry, yeah.
What's it called, Alex?
White perspex. Yes, white perspex backgrounds. All right.
Oh, it's ultimately a perspex lah.
Yeah, it's a perspex, but it's
a really
very,
thin
very
one.
Thin one. Yeah, very very thin one. Yeah. And then ensure that the white background is really thoroughly cleaned up properly before you actually placing any product onto it. And then as you shoot, you just really have to take note of in terms of your lighting exposure, your lighting ratio, to make sure that your product is well lit from having the good range from the highlights to the midtones to the shadows. Okay, and that's how you try to achieve that. But of course, right now with Photoshop and post and kind of thing, you can cheat lah. So basically, you can just plonk any product onto any particular background. But for me, I still have the discipline and I still make sure that I'll try to shoot white on white because I do not want to spend so much time on post-production. And seriously, there is a difference because don't forget, when you put any items on a white background, do take note that an object will normally cast a certain shadow. May it be hard lighting or soft lighting, you will still get a certain amount of shadow. And it is that shadow that make that product feel three-dimensional or has that form. All right. So if you were to execute a very good product shoot white on white, or especially on a white background, I think that is important for you to at least try to achieve. At least that is the basic necessity of if you were to call yourself a product photographer. Katie, I think would that be good enough to answer the question that you asked for? Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. Now, let me just move on to the next picture. Oops. Okay, what happened to my picture? Okay, now, just nice, Katie. I think this kind of like adds on to what you mentioned just now. So, okay, just to share with you guys, this was actually a Carlsberg campaign that I did. The brief was very simple. At that point of time, I think this was Carlsberg trying to launch a new promo where you buy a certain number of six-pack and then you collect the six-pack wrapper and all kind of stuff, and then you get to exchange for gifts. So my brief to me is that I need to shoot a whole range of gifts promo that comes along with the purchase of the beer. But at the same time, I need to deliver in the sense that this is how it's supposed to be for the promo items. So the picture that's on the left was what was shot in the studio. As you can see, I didn't really concern of trying to achieve too much of a polished look because I knew that in my workflow that I need to have post-production to have the beer that is in the container, because this is actually a what we call a beer tower that you're actually entitled to exchange for. All right. So I shot the beer tower as it is on the left, and then after the post-production, you'll notice that those are the little details where the words like the Carlsberg is further enhanced in post-production during DI, and also that little green knob on top of the beer tower, and plus of course the beer that was inside the container itself. Yeah. Just to also illustrate another norm, okay, reality versus what is after the before and the after. So the one on the left is what it would be for a beer bottle, okay, and then after that with the enhanced on the label that's on the right, that is the final image, okay, and these are what we call etch out shots. Yeah. Same thing, pack shots on top before, and the final one that is at the bottom. And this one is very, very interesting because there was a story about this. So in one of the most premium promo gifts that you can actually change is that I think you got to drink a hell lot of beer and then collect how many wrapper, okay, and then after you get to exchange for this so-called exclusive Carlsberg mini compo. All right, not actually mini compo, is you can actually put your iPhone and there's an iPhone dock there where you can actually play it. So what happens is that the production of the supplier that was dealing with Carlsberg couldn't get the final product in time, where actually the bottom image of that product is how it's supposed to be when it's being given away or when you exchange for. So they actually got the exact same music mini compo item, and I have to shoot that, light it properly, shoot it, and then after doing DI, and then that is where they actually show how it is a exclusive with a logo blast across it, and then it's matte black with all the logos and everything in place after post. All right. So with technology, with whatever that you are doing right now, software and something, I mean, this is one thing that how product photography can be very flexible and very versatile. But I think the important thing, again, I want to stress over here is that you still need to do a proper shoot and get a proper product shot done, because I think that is very, very necessary. All right. Because if not, when it comes to post-production, you will have a hell of a time, all right? Especially for the DI artists, all right? Then I would like to also further elaborate that, okay, I would say the biggest market in terms of product photography, I would say, I mean, with now print is getting lesser and lesser, but if you talk about in the days where print was big, okay, magazines and stuff like that. I think practically a magazine itself is made up of easily 70 to 80% of product shots plastered throughout the whole entire magazine, or any magazine, maybe a fashion magazine or whatever lifestyle magazine it is. So this is just to demonstrate to you that, okay, there actually is a very, very wide, big product photography market out there, all right? Because whatever you see down here, this is actually product photography, okay? And it ranges from studio edge out shots, pet shots, to even lifestyle shot, all right? And you can see that this has a good example of from print. Right now, if print is dead, you can actually see this similar, the similar things that happening that is online. So basically, nothing has much changed. So product photography will last in the days to come, and it will get even bigger and even more, especially if we were to be moving to our so-called this new norm that is coming towards us. Yeah. Okay, something for sharing with you guys, especially for those people who would like to attempt to shoot something at home and all kind of things. So I have this very simple setup over here that you can actually find around your home. Okay, if you do not have lighting or strobes or whatever kind of thing, just find something like maybe at your home table lamp or anything. And then as you can see, what I did was I took a piece of white Vanguard sheet, clip it onto a table, push against a wall. As you can see over here, the example is I'm using a shoe. And then after that, I would say that you can just pick up two shoe boxes. One of it, the one on the left, you can just put like maybe a translucent trace paper or whatever kind of thing over it to act as a soft box. And the other shoe box, you can just act as more like a fill board. Okay, and then once you position it in place, okay, this is kind of like just quickly to show you the process that how it would be by adjusting your lights, making sure that you have the right light source and getting the right diffusion of the light quality, and then by the proper fill in, okay, and you can actually have a decent product shoot that you can do actually at home, all right? Then now we come to the professional one, where in this case here, I'm showing you how a coffee maker is being done professionally, okay? And just to let you guys know that this is white on white, okay? Of course, there's after touch-up, all right? But just want to take you guys through, okay, how it would be in terms of lighting up, okay? So, of course, clean up your product, have it on a nice, beautiful white background, okay? And then after you position, set your camera. And then from here, you start building your lighting setup, okay? So I will have one overhead light over, which is in this case here throughout this whole thing. And because you're dealing with home appliances and kitchen appliances, I'm working with a lot of softboxes, because softboxes would probably have to give you the achievable of that white highlights that you guys are able to see later on, just now which I showed in the final image. And also a tip is what size of modifier to use is that very simple. Whatever product size that you're using, always times 2 or 2.5. So if you have a coffee maker that is of a size like this, you should be using a softbox that is at least 2. Okay, I would say minimum at least 2 times the size of it. Okay, in order for you to shoot something like this, because of the coverage and also the kind of highlight that you want to cover. All right. Then from here, we slowly walk around. We start moving in the lighting to achieve the side light where you see the white side highlight is. And eventually I have 3 soft boxes that is coming from the top, left, right. Okay. Now, one thing about product against a white background is that you tend to have the situation where you will tend to get blown out on the background and kind of thing. So what do you actually do? So what you can do is that you actually bring in black cuts. So when you introduce black cuts from the side, which is almost like 90 degree where the product is, okay, when you bring it in, it gives you the aging, or what we call it, that your edge of your product kind of like get more prominent, and it kind of like surface out, all right? And you start putting on your black cuts, as you can see. It also, the black cut also at the same time also give you the break of between highlights to a black area and then followed by highlights again. So that is actually how you achieve this. Okay. And of course, you finesse it, you tweak it around, you bring your boards lower down, closer, pulling it in and out, and eventually trying to get that symmetry of how your highlights and the shadow areas are going to be. All right. And of course, pay attention onto things like this, especially when you have products with logos and brandings. You need to ensure that the brand is being highlighted. So you may have to work a little bit either in post, but of course during your shoot, you try to get as much as you can. Okay, and especially for the small LED portion, this area, not forgetting that you need to also pay some attention to it. All right, and eventually after you have done up with the cleanups and a bit of DI and stuff like that. So what I'm trying to emphasize here is that try your best as much as you can to, during your shoot, to achieve as much as you can, at least, okay, 90%, because it will actually save you a lot of effort eventually when you have a very polished product of the final.
There's another, Alex, there's, if you don't mind going back, yeah. There's another technique that I used to do when I was doing still life a long time ago. Was I will only spend time and effort to do one side and then I'll flip.
Can. That one also can.
Right, and then you blend the two, and then you get two equally symmetrical highlights, and everything is so goddamn perfect because it was flipped. You know what I mean? And then you blend everything.
That hat that Jeff now just mentioned is good for people that maybe they are a bit down and low on in terms of the equipment that they have. So let's say you only have that two lights that you need for lighting up that one side, then you can do this flip method, which is perfect.
You know, and then after that go and paint back, you know, all the details like the logo, and then that center console, you just shoot it on its own. And then you know those words on the side of the glass, you know, you can paint it back as well, and so on and so forth. I think that's a great technique as well to do when you need symmetrical lighting, you know, in terms of highlights and, you know, lines and stuff like that. Right. Okay.
So we come to the mood shot. Okay. Lifestyle shot that I mentioned earlier. Okay. So this portion, or so-called this area of photography, okay, like I want to just remind everyone again, is to give context to the viewer, to the user, or to the customer or the shopper, of actually how the product actually works in a real life situation. Okay, and also this kind of genre of photography it also give you the scale of how the products would be. So that means that when you are composing or trying to stylize or trying to style a certain shot that is actually under this category of so-called the mood shot or the lifestyle shot, that part of the image or these pictures or these images that we're creating, it actually helps to give the viewer a sense of scale. So if let's say you're showing off, like for example, just on that coffee maker, okay, from that white background shot, you roughly wouldn't know how big or how small. And especially for a consumer, if you are having a new home or you are actually going online to buy something like this to give to a friend or for housewarming or kind of thing, then by having that lifestyle or mood shot and the way how you shoot it in terms of the styling or kind of thing, you can actually show the scale of the item. So let's give a scenario that, okay, from that exact same coffee maker, this time around, I will actually move the coffee maker to probably maybe in a kitchen setting, maybe like on top of a kitchen table, and then with some nice plants in the background, and then maybe with a cup of coffee in front of a coffee maker. And then when you do that shot, okay, that lifestyle shot or that mood shot would be very, very valuable, especially when the clients are actually trying to maybe utilize that image into another area of their product website, okay, because not only just showcasing how the coffee maker look like, but in this sense here, this area of coffee, the lifestyle mood shot will help to give that scale and give the customer a much more better understanding. Sometimes it also helps to let customer have a better understanding of the product feature. Okay, it gives that connection. It brings your viewer to have that feeling of connection with that product, and that is very powerful, and that helps to sell a product, and that makes your client very, very happy, especially when they're actually selling the products. In this case here, normally I would say for mood shot or lifestyle shot, lens choices you can play around between from a standard lens to maybe a mid-long lens, or sometimes in certain area you may even want to try using macro, because again, it depending on how you want to stylize your picture, or you can create that kind of pictures with that kind of lens range. All right. So let me just go through quickly some images over here. Okay, so as you can see, this is basically very, very straightforward. It is look like very random, like being thrown there and something, but yet at the same time, it is actually being styled and being placed nicely. There's certain form of styling involved. All right. This I would say that it's more of like not really experimental, but I was kind of like just playing around with just turning ordinary everyday items, like for example the 5 stone and a pack of cards or marbles, and then depending on how the way you play with your lens angle, your perspective, how you can actually make things interesting. Okay, I would say that the tough mission for most people, especially product photographer versus a model photographer or beauty photographer or fashion photographer, is that, I mean, for the human part of it, I mean, they got a beautiful model, they can interact, the model can smile, can scream, can cry, can whatever, and there's emotion. But in product photography, I would say that I always feel, and I respect quite a few nice product photographer in globally, that for them to make a product that have a sense of like maybe humanity in them, or there's a certain emotion in them, I think is very, very interesting, and it's very important, because I think that would say a lot about that product photographer, and it's very successful in trying to evoke emotions. Yeah. Again, this is a pair of rings that was actually for online jeweler. Good play of use of different backgrounds. Nice, beautiful, nice lighting on the products. Yes, watches. Wow, you need to really spend a lot of time and effort to make sure that you get the nice highlights there. And in this case here, I just want to stress one point on my reflection of the watch that is you are seeing on the foreground. Not flip, not Photoshop created. Okay, I really shot it as it is, because I was actually using a black acrylic surface as my background for this one, so that the acrylic itself actually helped to show the reflection of the watch itself, because I didn't want to do it on Photoshop, because I always find that there's a little bit fake when things are done Photoshop. I mean, of course you can do this, but then I did it actually in camera. Yeah.
But actually, for in terms of even doing it in Photoshop, you will not get the accurate reflection, because this is at an angle. You're not going to get the inside of the watch, the angle of the watch.
Yeah.
It's you're going to get a very, very strange reflection if you do it in Photoshop. So again, as always, try to do things in camera.
Yeah.
Right. Jingwei has a question about what surface this is shot on. I don't know what image is he talking about.
Yeah, Jingwei, can you maybe just...
The poker card. Okay, poker card.
Okay. Poker card one. Okay, let me just go back to the poker card one. Okay. Okay, the poker card one. All right. Basically, just simple, straightforward concrete paper, or what we call construction paper, art paper, that I actually pick up from Art Friend. I took a green, I took a bright yellow, and I took a bright pink. That's it. Okay. So I just have to concentrate and play with my lighting, with my perspective. Okay. So there wasn't gelling involved kind of thing, although it looks very vibrant kind of thing, because in Capture One, after I've shot it, I just tweak a little bit in terms of the contrast and the highlight and clarity and stuff like that, to just enhance and bring out. But other than that, it's just normal construction art paper. Yeah.
I mean, end of day, I feel to be a very good product or still life photographer, you have to be very inventive and very good with your hands. And I think you also got to be constantly be looking out for things. As a still life or whatever photographer, in fact, I feel, you need to, for example, whenever I go to Tokyo Hands or whenever I go to Daiso or a hardware store, I'm always looking out for things that can make my job better. I haven't exactly done that job yet. I don't even know if I need that thing yet, but I'm always looking for that something. It can be, a very strange wire that has a certain amount of bendability. Anything and everything that you can look and find. You go to Daiso, you see, square acrylic cubes, and you go, okay, maybe I can use this as fake ice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things like that. You can, you should always be constantly looking out for things. I saw a silver reflective poncho in Daiso once, right? And I thought it's super cool. You can pack it down to a very small size. And I thought, I'll buy a few. I'll just keep it in my camera bag, because whenever I need a silver reflector, I can just open this poncho, lay it on the ground, it becomes a silver reflector. I'll get my assistant to carry it, or I can wear it, and it becomes a reflector. It's this kind of thinking that you need to have. I feel you should train yourself to constantly be on the lookout for stupid things that you don't even know you need, but you go, you know what, this will make my life easier, right? At some point, I might need this to do that, and la 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 la. If you do that, I feel, you will become this kind of photographer that is always ready, is always prepared, that can solve anything. You know what I mean?
Just
Right.
to supplement what Jeff has mentioned, I feel that I think we all photographers, in a way or less, is like we need to have a bit of that Galanguni mentality in us. Yes, we can be like collecting things and keeping things and everything, and then you will get bombarded by probably your spouse or your partner or whatever. They say, all this nonsense and shit, that kind of thing. But you know that one fine day you will be using it for one way or another kind of thing. So yeah, in a way, yes, I totally agree with Jeff that we need to have all this kind of rubbish around, because you never know when you're going to use it.
I still cannot bombarded by my wife. Yeah, I still haven't. Still waiting for that job to use up some things, man.
Okay, don't worry, the day will come, definitely. I saw Rogan mention saying that the props, using our props like fishing line to prop the product. Okay, so there you are. This particular pictures that is actually together with the rest of the series of pictures that I did for the watch client. This set of so-called thrown one heap of straps down there. This after post. But again, I like to stress that this was really shot on black acrylic, so the reflection is real. But to get those straps in that certain area, yes, I did employ using a fishing line. And in fact, I would think the even better one would be the next picture here, which is I want to show you is yes, this one got major fishing line involved. All right.
Hot glue gun as well. I think hot glue gun is perhaps one a still life photographer's best friend, because you can glue things. I have personally glued jewelry with hot glue gun, and it doesn't damage it because it would tear off very easily, but it will hold the minute it dries.
Yeah.
I think it's way better than Blue Tack, because Blue Tack in our humidity, it would start to move after a little while. So definitely hot glue gun. Have one gun, and then keep a whole pack of those sticks with the glue sticks, always in your tanjia bag, right?
Ian,
very, very important.
Ian, I know you mentioned say that you use Blue Tack until angry. I know how you feel, bro. I feel you on that. But just to share one thing, if you guys do use Blue Tack, with sometimes some of the things in your production, Blue Tack actually is quite okay. But do me a favor, don't blue, okay? Look for the white or even look for the black tack. they are available. Is possible, is available, but you just need to
Yeah.
go to a much
Black-
better kind of
Black tag.
bookshop. Yeah.
Stronger one.
Yeah, black tag or white tag. Okay, white
Mm.
good because you do your post production. That time you want to clean off is easier. Also, reason why blue tag is terrible because especially it will have color cast, especially when you're lighting a product and then your product
Yep.
funny blue color cast down there is very jialat. Yeah.
Yep. Jingwei has a question. How do you keep your black acrylic dust free?
Okay. Okay. This one I have two ways. Firstly is always prepare more than one black acrylic. So what you do is that you take out one black acrylic and you get ready and you place your product for shoot, set everything all up kind of thing. And when just you're about to shoot, then you actually change your black acrylic. But that way, unless you have good assistant and you really mark everything precisely, I don't really encourage that. Secondly is that you just have to keep on making sure that your area of work is statics free, and also try to use a good blower. If you are able to afford, try to get a dust buster. Those is in the can, and I think is available at Challenger, where right now they are so-called long-term all-time promo is that you actually buy 2 cans for the price of one. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, just a disclaimer, me and Jeff got nothing to do with Challenger. We are not trying to sell products here right now. Okay, but
Another thing that I used to do is have a small little fan at the side of your frame to constantly blow, so that the dust doesn't settle on your set, so to speak. That's one way. Another way is to create anti-static, to maybe get an anti-static mat that you can place around or under your set. Or the other way is get a balloon, and then create some static, and then you can attract all this dust that lifts off as well. Yeah.
And also, do you guys do yourself a favor? I mean, especially now with us reopening and kind of thing. So those who own studios or have existing studio kind of thing, it's also could be a good time and a high time that you check your aircon system, do a cleanup, because those studios that's with aircon, especially if you're doing product shoot in air-conditioned studios, that's the time where you actually tend to get a lot of dust and kind of thing. So there's either you switch it off while you're shooting, or like what Jeff had mentioned, have a fan to blow. That should kind of like solve your problem. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yes. Next one is So again, this is like a good example to show like what I mean by the picture actually can to give you that scale, to give you a feeling of scale, like how big or how small. All right. This was a series of one of the latest Samyang lenses that was came out, and then I had a good opportunity to do a series of nice lifestyle shots for them. All right. Now, I would say that this is actually just to showcase the example that you can actually do a lot with mixed lighting, especially when it comes to production. Because when I was this was actually a spin-off from a interior shoot that I did for a friend of mine, which happens that in that particular area or that so-called that facility that he has. I mean, I was shooting all the different areas, and then this is one area that he wanted to showcase and highlight that he has this music console, which is actually part of his event space. So, as you know, music console just look like this with lots of knobs and everything. So I thought of like just want to make things a little bit interesting, spice it up a little bit. So I play a bit of mixed lighting with, as you can see, there's a bit of warm, and then also I pair off with a bit of slope. And I shot it in these few angles with a nice depth of field, just to make the picture look a little bit more sexy, so that it has that detail shot, the detailing shot that I mentioned about. Yeah. Okay, so coming up, this whole series will be basically all the what this client was. Oh yes, this was actually for online another online retailer that she actually make beautiful, nice costume jewelry from earrings. She wanted to put it online for her business, but she had a certain idea and a direction of how they want it to be done. So this was like a collaboration of having things shot in a very graphic manner, but at the same time playing with different props like books and some of the things that she actually brought along during the shoot and kind of stuff. And as you can see, like this series here, it was interesting because I had a challenge of like trying to shoot something that is reflective, which is already the product itself is reflective, and then against on a mirror, and then after with the acrylic, and then it's on a white background. But I need to make sure that there's that separation, that the thing is not just resting on something and then the rest of the items are just being blown off. All right. So these were some examples of some stuff that I did that when I was still having my sling with SPH, and I regularly have to produce images like this, and especially for this particular magazine, The Finder, they had a certain direction for this magazine cover. So they emphasize that every month they will focus on a certain product, and they actually use that for a cover. So as you can see, my product shots, it ranges from things that I do in the studio to, like for example, this one is actually a very lifestyle product shot of this decorative balls and everything, because this particular issue was talking about relocation, home renovation and stuff like that. And yeah, so this is what I meant by product shot is everywhere. It's practically everywhere, and it is important. Yeah. Then let's go something a little bit bigger. So yeah, this is one of the F1 vehicle that I actually shot many years back. Okay, it was actually for one of their publicity pictures, because they didn't wanted the pictures to just look normal and boring, because this was actually without the driver. It's just not entirely a replica, but it's just the car itself, and they needed to use it for a certain promotion and campaigns, and then they got me to shot the vehicle, and then I shot it on location, and after I followed by a bit of post-production, and this was the brief and the final idea that they wanted for the image itself. Yeah. So lastly, we come to a detail shot, or the so-called the sexy, beautiful shot kind of thing. So for this category of image, or this genre of image, the whole important idea is to support the promise of what the product is. Okay, so I call this, the sweet, juicy, sexy close-up, lots of depth of field. Reason why is because it kind of like tell a very artistic narrative story, probably showing the certain texture of a certain products, just to focus and highlight certain features. And especially like, for example, I give you a good example, is like, okay, Osim massage chair. Okay, you get that whole huge chair that you have that full shot of the product itself. Then you have a lifestyle shot. Probably you have that Osim chair in a nicely beautiful decorated living room of a beautiful bungalow, or maybe a terrace house or something like that. And that achieve and shows you the size of how that Osim chair, if you were to buy it and you were to put it on home, how it actually will blend in into your lifestyle and just make your whole life so wonderful, with that massage chair. Then you probably will want to add in that couple of close-up shots, because then you have that maybe to show off how expensive leather they have actually used to make that massage chair, or that awesome all-in-one multi-functional controller that is at the side of the chair. And then you probably might want to shoot the chair in its elevated mode, showing all the different position of how the backrest comes up and down, or maybe there's some special feature. I don't know, all the different, like maybe even cup holder hidden somewhere and counting. So this is the part where that close-up shots or counting serve that function, because it showcases what I call the landscape of the product. Okay, the whole craft of the workmanship of the product, the quality, interesting angle of how actually maybe sometimes the product is being created by a certain designer or engineer that puts so much effort into creating that product. And then this beautiful close-up shot actually helps to actually enhance and make the whole entire package and just make the whole sale and this whole advertisement and selling of this product in all the different areas. And it's important, it's very necessary, I feel, and it's even more right now because I think it helps to have that psychological effect to the consumer that it just make them feel the need, okay? Because this is what advertising all about, okay? It is to make them have that need that, oh yes, I need to buy this because I think if I have this beautiful massage chair, my life will be complete and wonderful, right? And when come to this kind of close-up shot, just be as creative as you can, be dramatic, probably looking at it in a different perspective, play with different kind of angles or even using a different kind of lens, play with your lighting, be artistic about it, be daring about it, you know, and then and normally for me, when I do this kind of stuff, I really use a whole lot of close-up and especially using the macro lens very heavily. Yeah. Okay, so this is what I meant just now. I'm going to show you the more other different images of that Razer earphones that I mentioned to you. Okay. Yes. So this is to show that the earphone actually goes along very well with, as you can see, of course, with a Sony handphone, a Sony smartphone. Yeah. This is with a console, right? Okay, and yep, cars, all right? So these are the close-up, sexy, beautiful close-up shots of the car, the detailing, the seats and stuff like that is what I meant, you know? Just give you that whole feeling. This was for a gentleman's shoe client of mine. Just needed to showcase and highlights on the material and the quality and the craftsmanship of this very exclusive bespoke shoes. Yeah, nice. All right, so I think that's pretty much come to my deck presentation. Anyone got any questions that you guys want to just put it up and just I don't know, throw it up to me or even to Jeff or whoever or anything. Let's open the floor right now and come up with the questions and just let me know.
All right. Any questions, guys? Okay, how about telling us, you know, the kind of tools you have, you know, in your product photography. You know, I know you have this whole bag full of things in the studio, right? You have you know, what's in that little bag of yours.
Okay, maybe I think one good way to illustrate about it is that, okay, maybe I'll just go back to this on this Razer earphones, okay, and just to elaborate on the thing. So, okay, in this series of shoot that I did for earphones, okay, there was a couple of challenges that came up. Okay, firstly, we didn't use a acrylic surface. In fact, I actually went to so-called not scout or casting of papers, but I actually went to Art Friend and actually go through a whole lot of different kind of texture paper in order to be able to fit this profile for this particular shoot. So once I found that exact paper that I wanted, what I did was I make a group purchase. At least I think, if I'm not wrong, I think I purchased about more than 5 pieces. Even though that I know I have only that 4 or 5 key visuals that I need to do, but I bought more because I know that the surface of this paper will be damaged as we go along while we are shooting it, because we'll be actually like positioning the cables with all the blue tags and whatever hot glue and stuff like that. Now, after that challenge has been done, next thing is that I needed to make sure that the product is thoroughly clean. So with cleaning of products, I use quite a fair bit of things. Of course, one of the most ultimate one, which all these years and until now I still swear by it, is that your typical lighter fluid, or what we call Ronsonol lighter fluid. Okay, that if you were to purchase it from a shop, if you were to identify it, you can look for the brand Ronsonol lighter fluid that comes in a black and with a red logo. If not, then you can go for the yellow one, which is actually under Zippo, okay, they call it Zippo fluid, okay, it's the same, okay. And now the wonderful thing about this fluid is that for those who are in graphic design or have done graphic design, okay, you know that back in the days, it literally removes everything when it comes to a graphic design artist, okay. It removes stains, it removes cow gum, it removes almost everything, especially if you have adhesive stickers, like certain products, especially when you are prepping your products for a product shoot. Sometimes products are being wrapped with certain shrink wrap, or sometimes products are blasted with different kind of, I don't know, you have the barcode sticker and then followed by the price tag and then followed by the brand sticker or whatever. And then when you remove them, you have those little bits and pieces of those sticker residue and all kind of things. So using the lighter fluid, it practically removes everything, okay? And also somehow products that has been thoroughly cleaned by using lighter fluid, it tends to get lesser static of dust or things stick on it. I don't know. So maybe it's my psychology or whatever, but this is how I experience and I'm sharing with you guys. So you can definitely, a must for me is my lighter fluid. And then after that, secondly, of course, the blower. Either you have a manual or blower, or you can use your pressurized can blower. Next thing is that a pair of very nice, good quality cotton gloves. Okay, that I emphasize because when you're handling jewelries, it doesn't leave the fingerprint from your hands onto the jewelry, especially if you're dealing with chrome jewelries like rings and silver items and stuff like that. Okay. At the same time, also remember the glove. When I mentioned good quality cotton glove, it has to be lint-free because again, you wouldn't want to leave more hair onto the thing, especially when you're trying to get rid of all the dust and hair and stuff like that. Okay. The other type of gloves that I might have will be just your normal rubber surgical gloves. Okay, that works well also, very good. Okay. Of course, you have the cotton buds that helps to remove things because sometimes you can put a few drops of the lighter fluid onto the cotton bud, then you bring that cotton bud to apply onto the product, especially when you already have your product set in place and then you just need to remove certain things from there using your cotton buds. Nice, fine bristle, find the softest hair bristle brushes that you can because that also helps to do a bit of your area cleaning or cleaning off the dust around your product area when you're about to shoot, or just to make sure that you just want to clear and clean up things like that. Other than that, I have all these small little mirrors with small little crocodile clips, and it is extended by a bendable arm that I actually use because sometimes you just need to get that small little bit of viewing light or little highlights onto a certain small products. Okay, so I actually use that. Okay, all that you can actually find at Art Friend. Go to the craft section. They have all those things over there. I have glass beads, which I also actually dual use it onto my food. I have also acrylic blocks. Now, acrylic blocks, or what we call acrylic stand, that is important, especially when you're doing product shot, or what we call the pack shot, where you are shooting like maybe a bottle of shampoo or a bottle of I don't know, facial cleanser or a tube of lotion or something like that. By having that acrylic stand onto your white background and by putting the product on top of the acrylic stand, and you are able to shoot your product in a way that is very good for you to do your etch out, okay? Because that item is not actually resting onto your foreground or which is on your white background, okay? And especially with that, you will have to struggle a bit, especially when your camera is actually on tripod and you're trying to get that eye level angle. But by you having an acrylic stand and lifting that up above, and by you placing that product onto the acrylic stand, and then you're able to, have your camera on the tripod moving up and down to get the right frontal angle, that actually helps a lot. All right. So other than that, I have plenty of black cards of different sizes because that is for me to do my aging. Basically, very simple. Whatever you guys think of shooting human or bigger items, that kind of stuff, and whatever you have when it comes to human, that you have your refractor board, your silver board kind of thing, it kind of like just translate and applies to the same into product shoot, and just that it's in a smaller scale. Okay, so if you are shooting a handphone or you are shooting small items kind of thing, your viewing boards, your refractor boards, or your black cards kind of thing, we're probably looking between the range of sizes, like for example, from minimum as small as, I mean, always work bigger is always nicer, but at least a minimum A4 to maybe A2, or as the items get bigger, then you can go move up to about A3. So I have this whole entire bag of all the different white cards in different sizes, black cards in different sizes, and sometimes I will like maybe have two white cards with one black card attached to each other, and then that kind of like help me in my production, and it helps to just to shape and get the highlights, the details from the mid-tones to the dark areas, and especially when you are shooting wine bottles. Okay, especially you want to have that nice sexy white highlight that runs from all the way from the top of the cap of the wine all the way down to the side and kind of thing. That one is whatever the size of the bottle, your refractor board or that side viewing light that you're going to use in terms of the size of the modifier need to be at least twice the size. Okay, because if not, you can't achieve that. Okay, and then you need to lift up your bottle. Okay, because it's very important why I say you need to lift up the bottle, because sometimes you can see the flaw of other wine shots that other photographers did is that the highlight runs from top all the way down, and then just as it's about to reach 3/4 at the bottom, suddenly the highlight got broken off, and then it sounded like it just kind of looked incomplete. Why? Because the bottle was actually resting on the foreground surface itself, and he just shot it as it is with the camera on eye level. But if you want to achieve that nice, beautiful highlight all the way down, you need to lift up the bottle. Then you will be able to achieve that whole nice side highlight all the way down. Yeah. Yes, Abel. May I know for the lifestyle shots, how do you go about styling the shot, and what's your thought process like in what to include as props, and how should they be placed? Okay. Very simple. I think, okay, so normally it depends on how it goes. Okay, because if you are working with agency, there will be a director and probably creative director with the certain brief. Okay, but if you are working with maybe a smaller client or a direct client, first I would say run through the thought process and understand the product. Okay, so that's mean if you are, let's say, doing a series of costume jewelry for online jeweler that she wants to do up a series of pictures that shows she can use it for her website and also for her online product sales. So firstly, you need to establish and ask her, say, okay, how many number of items of products that she have in mind, maybe some of the signature key items that she would like to feature on. So for those items that she want to feature on, you can work on having a little bit more shots. So maybe you want to pay a bit more attention to creating the lifestyle shot and then add in with the sexy close-up shots. Now, especially for the lifestyle shot, ask her, like maybe when she was designing the jewelry, maybe what is the concept behind, what was her inspiration, what was her idea, how did she came about with this whole series of jewelry. Maybe sometimes it could be of a certain color theme, or it could be maybe following a certain zodiac sign, or maybe there's a certain element of inspiration, like maybe leaves or a flower series that is inspired by certain flowers. So by you talking to a client and having your pre-production done and understanding how she wants the product to be, what she wants the product to be, you are able to come up with a story. Okay. Come up with a storyline, work with your client, discuss with her whether, okay, maybe we could try to narrate this like a certain story. Like for example, the series I did for the one that I mentioned and I put up on my slides, that whole series of so-called costume jewelry that I shot for my client. I actually had a talk with her, and she actually said that no, she's going for that very clean, very graphic look. The books or the whatever branches and the cottons and everything are kind of like just elements to kind of like to fit into the whole concept of each shot. All right, and like I say again, it depends also on, maybe you can work on different kind of backgrounds. Or you can even work on finding a nice location, or a certain corner or a certain angle, maybe that you have come across before. Okay, so sometimes besides you picking up all the rubbish stuff that I think that you may eventually use for production, you maybe sometimes walk or came by across a certain area, could be a cafe or could be a certain area of a park that you went to or whatever kind of thing, and that angle or that perspective somehow or other serve a very nice backdrop or background for that particular product shoot that you're trying to achieve. Okay, so I'm talking about shoots that you may want to bring it out onto the location and try to achieve that. But if you are in the studio, then things can have a little bit more control. You can even create the kind of setting or create the kind of backgrounds, and it all depends on what you have researched on and how you have come up with your pre-production discussion, and then that's how you actually come up with all the different looks and different visuals that you can have for your product photography that you want to do for your client. So Abel, does that help to answer your question?
Any other questions, guys, for Alex in terms of product photography?
Yeah.
As you can see, Alex has it's not only a product photographer, but he puts on the hat and he actually takes into consideration the needs of the clients. And I think that's one of his strengths as a photographer, is that he articulates the client's needs very well, in the sense he thinks deeper into the processes, as opposed to just snapping off a product, for example. And Alex, do you mind just getting rid of that green line on the screen? There's a green line. Yeah, it's irritating me. The anal retentive side of me is like, the green line. There's a green line.
Yeah. I keep rubbing my screen.
Yeah, can you stop the drawing thing?
I think I accidentally draw it.
Yeah, just stop your screen share. You got nothing else already, right?
I stopped my screen.
I think we stop screen up there. Okay, super.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think as a product photographer, you need to go further than that and to understand clients' needs. In essence, I believe, crafting a still life image, a product image, you really need to go down and understand where this image is being used. For example, is it going to be used in an ad that is beside a lot of words, for example? How do you best light it and angle it so that it would scream enough attention within that page, or in the newspaper or in the magazine, for example? You need to investigate a lot further so that you can do your part, and not just blindly just shooting. They want white on white, okay, they'll shoot law. You know what I mean? I think that's a very important aspect of what Alex does. I believe, right? Yeah.
There's a question on Facebook actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So will it damage the surface of a product while cleaning with lighter fluid?
No, actually, that is how wonderful this liquid is. It will not. In fact, it actually helps to really clean off. Sometimes you have this like very weird oil stains or whatever kind of stuff. So the lighter fluid kind of like just get rid of everything, but yet at the same time, it doesn't damage anything. I have tested. I have used lighter fluid on Tiffany rings and nothing happened. So I can.
Well, actually, instead of using lighter fluid, maybe you can try using water first, because now this product, it's quite sensitive in a sense that lighter fluid may in a sense that make it look sticky. So yeah, I always try to use water first. If not, then yeah, lighter fluid. That's what me and Alex always do on
Yes.
set when we do product shoots.
For Rogan, you mentioned about lean roller. Yes, sorry. Thanks for reminding me that. Yes, lean roller, very important for fabric products, especially when you're shooting like maybe a jacket or a certain fabric that is more of that kind of suede material kind of thing. Yes, lean roller, very important. Cheapest one to get, you can get a whole bag of it. IKEA's lean roller, very good. Yeah.
Alternatively, if you don't have a lean roller, you just get masking tape. Pull a long amount of it and then crush it into a ball,
Yep.
and then just take that ball and just roll it around the fabric, and it will start to pick up lint, so to speak. Or just make it round your hand and then just go around and picking it off. Masking tape will do as well. Yeah. Okay. I think it's all these little things that you pick up along the way as a photographer, still life photographer, that will make your life easier, right? Okay. Any other questions?
How come no one asked me about how, sometimes you guys see those beautiful makeup shots, like maybe a cracked foundation or maybe a lipstick being smeared on, the kind of thing. How come no one asked me about that? How actually we product photographer actually do that? Would you guys like to know? I can share that. Yeah.
Yep. Sure.
Okay, so you guys will sometimes see like maybe Clinique or Estee Lauder or whatever, and then they have this new launch of maybe a foundation pad or maybe some eyeshadow, the latest colors kind of thing. And then they have this the cakes of different color foundation, and then it's broken into bits kind of thing. Well, just to share with you guys, I was doing tons of that. I think I was doing a good 7 years of that when I was at SPH, because that was kind of like practically every day. Sure, we'll have makeup shots to be done. So things like for lipstick, we really literally will take a nice lipstick, a brand new lipstick, and if you sometimes, unfortunately, or I would say unlucky, it happens to be a Christian Dior lipstick, and that easily costs like close to maybe $70 or $80. We actually will take the lipstick, twist it out, and we will use what we call anti cutter, or what we call the graphic artist cutter knife, pen knife, and we'll actually chomp it off. And then after that, we will have, what I do was actually I will have like a stack of A4 size paper standing by next to me. And I will take one piece and put it onto the table. And then I'll use things like tweezers or artist palettes, that kind of, it's like people who do oil painting. You will see them using those metal spatulas kind of thing. So I actually bought a whole series of that in different sizes, in different kind of, because it helps me to create different kind of texture, different kind of strokes, especially when I actually press onto the items. All right. So this is actually how we do it. All right. And sometimes to even have it a much more natural feeling, right, I even have to use my bare finger. But of course, I'm smart. I would not want to dirty my finger. So what you do, I actually put a surgical mask, not a surgical mask, surgical gloves onto my hands. And then what I'll do is I'll take a portion of that lipstick, smear it, give all the different looks kind of thing. All right. If it's liquid foundation, I will use like things like spoon, plastic spoon, disposable forks, even chopstick, that kind of thing to create that different kind of texture, that kind of stuff. Now, for those broken one, we literally actually break it. So what we do is that we actually, first we have to remove that whole round metal thing from the container itself. And then one way to do that is that because when the manufacturer create those makeup blobs of metal foundation cakes, it's actually on a piece of metal tin that at the bottom is actually, they use a bit of hot glue to glue onto the actual packaging product, or the product packaging. So in order to, one way to remove that is that you need to use a very small pen knife or a thin pen knife to stick it right under and kind of like peel it and pry it off. Sometimes you may be successful, sometimes you may not. Based on my experience, the cheaper makeup range items are very bad. They really stick it hardcore. I don't know what they use. They probably use a very strong, powerful glue and stuff like that. But if I'm using more expensive brand like Estee Lauder foundation cakes, or maybe Christian Dior or Cartier or whatever kind of thing. It's so easy for you to bring it out. And I love that because I call it the more photographer-friendly kind of makeup stuff. And then that's how when we actually break them up, scoop them, smear them, and then after that, we take shots of that. And then in this kind of photography, it's very important, especially when it comes to the coloring. And it is so crucial that making sure that your settings is all correct because color rendition of this is very, very important. Yeah. So this is one thing that you guys can actually go and try. So maybe what you guys can try to attempt to is that don't kill yourself by go and take your spouse makeup and partner and you say, hey, wife, borrow, I want to do some production. I think your wife will kill you or you probably end up buying new makeups for her. So one way is that same thing, go to Daiso, you can get some cheap makeups there or even better still, Mustafa, when it opens, okay? There's lots of cheap makeups on there. You can actually try and experiment that because the smearing or that after a while, it takes a little bit of feel to it and you need to have that kind of like artist feeling to it when you're actually breaking it. And you need to have that flow. It's not always 100% successful each time when you break it. Sometimes you break it and it doesn't turn out that well, then you have to probably break it again and again. So yeah, you got to go easy on that. Now, nail polish, pouring out of nail polish, okay, that is very important. The trick is that when you pour it into a piece of paper and you need to do a top shot down of the thing, don't pour a whole entire bottle because you probably need to take a few shots of that. So what you do is that you can pour it in small blobs, but because when you shoot it, and again, because it is a pack shot and it's shot against white, you can't be relative with the size. So as a viewer, when you see a blob of nail polish, as you make the blob bigger or smaller while you are doing your post editing, it can look like a big blob or it can look like a small blob, but no one can tell the size. So that is one way that you, when you are shooting nail polish, when you're pulling out the blobs, don't finish your entire bottle. Pour bit by bit, get a few shots. Sometimes try a few different exposure because when you're dealing with very silvery type of nail polish, or especially nail polish nowadays, they have those metallic range, or they even have the sparkle range, and with the sparkles that is being put inside the nail polish, you need to tweak your lighting in order to show off those details. So yeah, you need to watch out for that. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Have you answered Abel's question?
Abel, okay, charging by product or by time. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now a little bit business part of it. Okay. So for product pack shot, I would say that you go by per product because you need to take into consideration that you take time to set up, to work on the product. You need to shoot the product. After that, the product need to be post-edited and post-production before you actually deliver. So you need to go by the items. Preferably, if the client can work out like a certain number of items with you, then maybe from there, then you can work out a better price for a client. Other than that, mood shots or the lifestyle shot need to be treated differently in the sense that it should either go by a half a day or a full day because it really depends on how complex the shoot that you want to design and how you want to do it for the client. For the close-up shots, that one can also be quite complicated if you are doing something elaborate. If not, then that could actually goes into your maybe a half a day or a full day rate. All right. So normally, generally from what I do with my client, if I know that I'm doing this series of pack shot, let's say I'm doing for a particular supermarket and they tell me, say, I have 100 of these household items that I need to shoot and they are very specific. It's just pack shot, straight on, no other funny angles. Okay, it's just eye level, straight on shots, and then they have 100 of that, and then I'll then charge by per items. Okay, but if it's going to be a different kind, like for example, what I did for Razer, the kind of series of shoot where I only can achieve like maybe maximum 4 or even 5 visuals, KVs in one day, then that I go by the daily rate. Okay, Abel? Yeah. Cool.
I have a question.
Yes, Who's that? Maybe you need to
I'm
speak
Clement.
a bit louder.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Clement. I want to ask whether you have shot like cars because you shoot a lot of products. Do cars count? And 你有没有拍过? Yeah. And then like what's a good way to like cars if you have shot cars before?
Okay. Yes, I have shot car. I think you missed out my pictures in my slide presentation. I did have some car shots over there. So basically, like I mentioned before, it's relative. Okay. So the bigger the products, everything just go bigger. Okay. You got bigger lights, you got bigger modifier. You need to take into consideration about how the car shape is going to be like. How would the light be falling onto the car in terms of how the highlights would go, and actually what perspective of the car you are taking, because taking a car at a 45-degree and taking a car straight on, or taking the car from different angles, it evolves different kind of lighting setups also. And then not forgetting that after you have shot the car in full, in its own, in the full capacity, the whole car, in different angles, you may also consider that you need to do some detailing shot of the inside of the car, or maybe the material of how the car seat is, or maybe the console and things like that. All right. But generally, if you were to ask me, lighting the car pretty much is the same as how you want to light a product. You still need your key, you still need your feel, you still need all your aesthetic things that is needed in order to make the car beautiful and nicely lit up. And like I said, it's about the size. The bigger the item go, your lights goes bigger, you need more lights, you need bigger modifiers, everything just go relatively in size. Jeff, I think, did I put it that correctly? Yeah?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to figure something out.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, cars, I personally feel that shooting cars, it's not about lighting the car, it's about lighting the reflections. Because it's, the car is one big giant disco ball. I will light the wall, I will light, whatever it reflects, in essence. That's kind of, what I mean, how I would personally light a car, at least. Yeah.
Yes. What do you mean by you will like for the reflection? Can you elaborate more?
Okay, very simply, let me see if I can find something. I was trying to find something for you guys, but I couldn't find it. Give me a second. Okay, maybe I do this. Okay. So if you talk about cars, right? For example, okay, right? If you look at this picture, if I want this highlight here and I want this highlight here, I don't like the highlight. I like what's reflected. I like the ceiling, for example, because the ceiling is what's reflecting into this edge here, for example.
Yep.
Right? And then this rim, I don't actually like the rim. I like the reflector that is here, for example. Right? That's kind of how I would light, a car, for example. Right? So coming in here. Oh shit! Let me stop. How do I stop this fucking drawing thing? Okay.
Now you can.
Yeah, now I'm gonna. Shit. Okay, let me try to. Okay, so for example, right, if this is the car that I shot, right, I would light here. Oh yeah, wrong color. Say for example, okay, here, I would literally light. I would throw the light into the floor, and then it reflects into the rim. That's how I light the rim, for example, right? And if I want to light this highlight here, I don't like this. I literally put a light maybe here, right? Imagine this is the studio. I like this portion. I like this area here. This area would then reflect into this area. And that's how I light the car. Same thing for this area here, right? What I do is I don't literally light here. I put a big ass panel here, I put a big ass panel here, and I put the light here. I put the light here, and then I whack across. And then this whole portion gets lit up. In turn, it reflects into this area, and that's how this whole behind gets light up. So, you know, cars, you don't actually light the car. You light the reflection. Do I make sense now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this same approach to lighting can be carried for anything that has glass, that has reflections. You know, the iPhone, for example. If you want to shoot the iPhone, I wouldn't necessarily light the phone. I wouldn't throw the light directly into the phone, but I would light the reflections, and then it would then come back into the phone and sculpt the phone, for example. Or if I'm shooting a bottle, for example, you are technically looking at lighting up the bottle. You know what I mean? So that's another way of thinking. Sometimes it's not about directly lighting something. You light the reflections. Make sense?
Yep. Thank you,
Yeah.
Alex.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. All right. Any other questions? It's 10:30. We're spot on in terms of timing. For Alex.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Alex. Very informative session.
I just want to make sure that everyone enjoyed this portion of this, because I always feel that product photography, a lot of people like don't really pay attention, but actually it can be very, very fun if you guys know how to do it.
Yeah. Agree with Alex. You know, I mean, I used to do product photography a long time ago, and yes, it has been, it's something that if you learn to shoot something that doesn't move very well, you can take that same sensibility and approach, and like anything else, people, human, a human is similar to a bottle. We are all long and cylindrical in some ways. You know what I mean? So if you can think in that sense, it's definitely something that you can carry with you moving into various genres. I started from products, and now I do people very well, for example. So you got to start somewhere, right? Yeah. All right. Thank you, Alex. I guess let me just share a little something about phase 2 moving forward. Yeah. We're all excited. It is exciting to be getting back to work. I just want to I want to remind everybody, please take good care of yourself.
Be responsible, all right?
Be responsible. Yeah, exactly. Please take all the precautions, do all the protocols that's needed so that we protect our industry. Okay. Again, as all social media is running out around, the opening of the industry is more for the economy, but it's not exactly totally safe yet. But do take precautions. Yeah, look out for each other, please. Yeah. Okay. I mean, to be honest, it's not that I'm not too concerned about the virus in itself. I'm more concerned about lone gunmen's running around, just running amok. You know what I mean? And then screwing up the industry for us, and then we all have to go back into lockdown again. I hope that doesn't happen, and we can all look out for each other in that way. All right. Cool. Be well. Enjoy the opening, and I'll see you again.
Yes, I'll see you guys. Please come to me if you guys need any of your studio inquiries or any rental inquiries. Okay, just come to me. Okay, drop me a line. WhatsApp me, whatever. Right?
Yep, Raw is open, so come right in. Let us know. Drop us a line, and then we will take your bookings and schedule you in. the bookings are coming in. So quite
Very furiously.
yeah. So please, if you need to shoot anything, do book your slots, okay? All right. And then also, we have an ongoing promotion with CRC, Camera Rental Center. Do check them out. And if you need any equipment, mention Raw, and they will take care of you. They have some specials with Raw as well. You can check it out on their website. Where you rent stuff, they will send it to you, and not only do they send it to you, it's the first time you get a discount as well. All right, cool. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Everybody. All right.
Yes, good night.
Yeah, take care. Thank you, Abel.